Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. This is the post-fight reaction for Sergey Kovalev. I'm walking right now. It's a bit dark where I'm at, so excuse the lighting or lack thereof. But I just wanted to get my thoughts on this fight between Sergey Kovalev and Anthony Yarde. It was just an interesting fight, man. It was a really interesting fight. So I'll give you guys a bit of time to just settle in here and get in. But what I will ask is this: for those of you who are funneling in here, who are coming in, make sure you smash that like button. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know what city, what state, what continent you're streaming from, and we will definitely get started. But I'm gonna go through the Kovalev fight. I'm gonna go through the just how everything played out. I'm gonna go through Yarde side of things, Kovalev side of things, where they both go from here, and then after that, like always on True School Sports, we can just talk about whatever you want after I get through everything. But we'll start with just going through the fight. Let me see. We got my main man, Lennox Lewis. What's up, Lennox? What's up, Lennox? Kovalev brutally KO'd him. He's from England, and by he, I think he would be saying Yarde. Yeah, it was an interesting fight. And speaking of Kovalev, you can't see it. I'm wearing my Kovalev shirt right now. I got my Fighting Mad Sergey Kovalev shirt. So big shout out to the fine folks at Fighting Mad. I'm gonna go somewhere with decent lighting soon. I'm walking right now, but just a really interesting fight. Really interesting fight. See what we're at 2 minutes right now, so I'm gonna give it a couple minutes before I go in. But you guys just smash that like button, hit that like button. Give me your thoughts below as I get ready to just give you guys my thoughts. You give me yours. There you go. I'm rocking the Kovalev shirt. See that? Got the Kovalev shirt on right there. I'll probably be live for about a good hour and a half. So we got time to have fun and talk. Hold on. There was also another good fight. Like I remember the co-main event. I don't know if you guys saw the co-main event, but the co-main event between the cruiserweights was you had Lalangu Makabu and Alexei Papin. That was an exceptional fight as well. It was a really good just presentation they put together there in Russia. Like you had the lasers and the light show, and it was some next level stuff as far as presentation. Whoever put on the card, as far as the matchmakers and the people who put the laser and the lights in, they deserve a raise, man. It was a really good show in Russia. Just a really good show. And I think, you know, the American promoters and just how America does things, they can learn a little bit from that Kovalev Yarde, you know, show. Was really good, really good. See, we're at 3 minutes 30 seconds. So yeah, I know right now too, because I know at some point in time people are gonna get in here and ask me why I'm not going live for Gaia Estrada versus who was it, Dwayne Beeman on DAZN. I'm gonna watch that card later, and I'll probably do some videos on that. I got a busy week ahead of me. I'm actually gonna be going to New York City on Tuesday with my boy Paul Martinez because he's gonna be on the Sway in the Morning show. Sway, he's a really talented rapper. He's my best friend, so I'll be going to that. So I'm kind of just preparing for that on the low. I'm getting ready for a good run of traveling. Like I'm gonna be going to New York City Tuesday. I'll be going to Atlanta on September 28th. And then I got the England trip in December. So just a lot of traveling going on. I also have some things going on in my personal life as well. So that's why you haven't been getting as many videos, for those of you who follow my channel and watch me regularly. So we're at 4 minutes and 30 seconds right now. We got 4 people in here. Let me know what city, what state, what continent you're watching from. All that good stuff. We're gonna start when I get to the 5-minute mark. We're gonna start. Also been a bit pissed off because Everton got absolutely played off the field yesterday by Aston Villa. That was pretty saddening. I went to a local English pub here yesterday and just had a chance to watch that. That wasn't too fun. But we're at the 5-minute mark now, so let's get into Kovalev Yarde now. Sergey Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde. It was an interesting fight for a number of reasons. You know, you had Sergey Kovalev. This was his second fight with Buddy McGirt. And I've been giving Buddy McGirt a lot of credit because that performance he had with Eliot Alvarez this year in the rematch, it was, in my humble opinion, the best performance of Sergey Kovalev's career, and he turned in that performance at the right time. So for me, it was interesting to see how would Kovalev perform now that he's got the title, that he's light heavyweight champion again. Because it's one thing when your career is on the line, and you have a chance to fight for a world title. You know, anybody can, you know, fight a little bit better under those kind of circumstances. But when you get the title, and then you're fighting a young, inexperienced, but a young, hungry, you know, just fighter like Anthony Yarde, you know, it's different. And we know Kovalev in the past has had a lot of problems with focusing, with listening to his trainers. So yeah, he did it for one fight, but my thing was he going to be able to listen to Buddy McGirt for multiple fights? That was like the big question for me going into this fight, you know. So that was his side. From the Anthony Yarde side of things, the question was, you know, could he step up to the plate and challenge Kovalev? Could he give him any problems? And you know, obviously with his trainer Tunde Ajayi, he has done a lot of talking up to build up, and you know, they have interesting training methods where they don't even spar, which I think is kind of corny. To be honest with you, I think it's extremely corny. But hey, to each his own. It's boxing, and not everybody's gonna do everything the same. So if it works for them, it works for them. But the fight was interesting. You know, I would say the first 3 rounds, Anthony Yarde's speed, his reflexes, his timing, things like that. These things gave Kovalev, I don't want to say problems, but I let Kovalev know early that, hey, I didn't come here to lose and get destroyed by you. You know, he was throwing this check left hook, especially in the first 3 rounds. Kovalev would come in with a jab, and he'd the check left hook, and it would get Kovalev's attention. And I thought, you know, the first 4 rounds, Anthony Yarde proved himself to be a threat because of his speed, because of his reflexes, and things like that. So, you know, I mean, look, Kovalev got to a bit of a slow start, but I think that he did that by design. Buddy, you know, if you go back and you watch the first 3-4 rounds, he was touching him with the jab, whether it be jabbing from the waist, using a conventional straight jab, using the up jab. He was just touching Yarde with his jab, because if Buddy McGirt has been trying to show Kovalev that he doesn't have to load up with his punches, and he can actually just place his punches, and because he's a heavy-handed fighter, you know, there will still be power punches because of his heavy hands. That's actually a problem a lot of power punchers have. You know, they rely on their power and they load up on their punches, which means they put a lot of strength and emphasis and leverage behind their punches, but they don't necessarily have to because of the fact that they're power punchers. They have heavy hands. So that's what Kovalev was doing in the first 3 to 4 rounds. You know, just placing his punches with mainly the jab. You know, he'd mix in the right hand every now and then, but it was nothing but a jab and feints and things like that. Every now and then he'd throw a left hook, which I found interesting because Kovalev's not really known for throwing left hooks, but Buddy McGirt is slowly working that in there. So it was a good first 3 to 4 rounds. Yarde showed that he can have, you know, lions in the camp. Let's get one of those lions in the camp. So yeah, you know, it was interesting the first 3 to 4 rounds. Now when the fight got really interesting, it is when we get to the middle parts of the fight. You know, that 7th, 8th round. You know, Anthony Yarde really, I think, this is where these are the rounds where Anthony Yarde got his respect. Got not just his own respect personally, but respect from the boxing world with certain people, because you got to understand, this is a guy in Anthony Yarde who had 12. Let me reiterate that. He had 12 amateur fights. He did not have a big amateur background. He was someone that, you know, has a very sharp learning curve ahead of him. and his record is padded. His record is very, he's taking what they call learning fights. So he hasn't fought anybody. They're obviously, if any of you watched my videos on Yarde in the past, there's been a lot of outcry from people like myself for him to go fight one of the British light heavyweight champions or contenders, like guys like Hosea Burton, guys like Joshua Buatsi. I think that would have suited him better because those guys are more on his level, but he jumped straight in with Kovalev. So, 7th, 8th round, he began to actually work the body of Kovalev. He would throw body shots to Kovalev, convicting, hard, thudding body shots to Kovalev, and then work his way back upstairs. And he hurt Kovalev, so much so to the point where if he had put together one or two more really hard shots and placed them the right way, he might have got a stoppage. Maybe Buddy McGirt might have stopped the fight, because I think it was going into after the 8th round, when Yarde almost got Kovalev out of there. Buddy McGirt told Kovalev, he said, Sergey, if you don't show me something in this next round, I'm gonna stop the fight. And Kovalev was like, what? No. So what's interesting to me about that is, Sergey Kovalev, or Buddy McGirt, I should say, Buddy McGirt was in the corner. He was the trainer for Maxime Dadashov, who passed away recently. So you knew that was going to be on his mind if he got hurt, and I think any fighter who's trained by Buddy McGirt, that will be on their minds when they're in the ring and getting hurt. He doesn't want to see another one of his fighters die on his watch. That's a very serious thing as a trainer. I truly don't think that he wants to go through that again. And who would want to go through that? So he saw Kovalev getting hurt. He saw Kovalev getting punished a bit by Yarde, and he let him know, hey, if you do not get it together, I'm going to stop this fight. And that got Kovalev's attention. And what you saw in the next round, Kovalev responds. He starts using that jab. He starts placing that jab really nicely. He starts laying in barrage of right hands. Showed a good footwork. He would take these half steps back and make Anthony Yarde fall short and miss with punches. And then you could kind of see Anthony Yarde, the effects begin to show. The effects of him having so many damn muscles. The effects of the Kovalev jab, because he's so heavy-handed that a jab by him can count as a power punch. That's the kind of power Kovalev is punching. So he's just touching him with his jab, and to us from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like it's doing anything because it's a jab. Most fighters don't hurt you with a jab, but Kovalev can hurt you with a jab because he's so heavy-handed and he knows how to place that punch so well. So you saw this, and I remember when Anthony Yarde got stopped, I think it was the 11th round. Yeah, the 11th round. When he got stopped, I remember 10 seconds before he got stopped, or 15 seconds, about 10 to 15 seconds before he got stopped, Kovalev touched him with a really hard jab. Bang! And they were like in the middle of the ring, and I saw Anthony Yarde look outside the ring and look at Tunde Ajayi. So the minute I saw that, I was watching it with my dad, and I said, Kovalev is going to get him out of here soon. He doesn't want to be in there. He's looking outside to Tunde Ajayi. He had swelling all over his left eye, and right when I said that, and the action continued to develop, Kovalev just hits him with a straight stiff jab, bang, right down the middle, and it hit Anthony Yarde like a power punch and knocked him out. So Kovalev knocked him out with a jab. So overall, it's a good fight. I know people are gonna say, well, this fight proves that Kovalev would get destroyed by Canelo, which I don't really agree with. We'll get to that in a second, but let's talk about Anthony Yarde and where does he go from here. I think this is a good fight for him, and if he's gonna stay with Tunde Ajayi, I don't know what that's gonna, how that relationship's gonna pan out, but he should hold his head up, because man, you really went in there with 18 fights, and you gave one of the best light heavyweights. You gave one of the best fighters in the world a great run for his money. I just think this is where the experience, or lack thereof, quality ring experience really hurt Anthony Yarde, because he doesn't really have a jab. He fights this Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr., bootleg style where his hands are here and he's trying to jab from the waist and use his reflexes and all that stuff, but it doesn't work for him right now. He's got to fight his fight. And I don't think he fought his fight enough in this fight because he doesn't really know himself in the ring, because he hasn't been tested in the professional ranks of boxing the way he needs to get tested. You know, he's been fighting cupcakes and Dixie cups and tomato cans and Uber drivers to make his record look good, to build hype up so he can knock somebody out, and then his whole entire team could say lions in the camp. But you know, you were in there with another lion, and I just think too, when he actually hurt Kovalev, I truly and sincerely believe that he punched himself out as well, which also was his ultimate undoing. So they got to go back to the drawing board. I would definitely look at, you know, taking some time off, regrouping, and trying to fight one of the like British level light heavyweights. You don't got to fight BOWE. I think BOWE would end his career straight up. Joshua Buatsi is a fantastic light heavyweight. They don't want to do that right now, but I would look to try to conquer like truly conquer the light heavyweight scene in the UK, in England. And once they do that, and once they can do that, then you slowly step Anthony Yarde up to world level. And then by the time he's able to challenge for another world title, he could be a lot better from this. All right, he can become a lot better from this loss, because now he's fought Kovalev. Now he knows, you know, he can hurt other world-class fighters, and it could be. It depends on how you handle this, but it could be all nothing better from here for Anthony Yarde. So I'm not gonna get on here and disrespect him, because you gotta look at the facts. You know, Anthony Yarde, he could have taken a Canelo Alvarez's team. They offered him $1 million in step-aside money so that Kovalev could fight Canelo Alvarez, and Anthony Yarde turned it down to fight Kovalev. So, look, I know it probably wasn't the smartest move for his career. Truthfully speaking, it was probably pretty stupid, but you know, he did it, and I give him respect for that, because not a lot of fighters would do that. You know, he could have made $1 million for doing nothing, just stepping aside, but he said, no, give me Kovalev. I think I can beat him. And he tested himself. And you know what? I respect that, you know, because for a long time, people didn't think he'd fight anybody. You know, so I respect Anthony Yarde. And it's, you know, even though he lost, you know, lions in the camp. Shout out to Anthony Yarde. Hopefully I get to meet Anthony Yarde in England, because I do plan on going to the Peacock Gym when I go to England in December. So big shouts out to a man, lions in the camp, and, you know, the whole team over there. But going back to Sergey Kovalev, man, I want to start talking about like Buddy McGirt needs to get more credit for what he's doing with Kovalev, man, because this is now 2 fights. You know, the first fight this year he had with Kovalev was that magnificent fight with Eliada Alvarez, the rematch. He turned in such a brilliant performance against a guy that Kovalev had previously gotten knocked out by. So Kovalev just looked like a whole new fighter. And you know, now it really seems like Kovalev is he listens to Buddy McGirt, like he does. If you go back and watch the fight, and go listen to Buddy McGirt's instructions for this fight. Every round, everything he told Kovalev to do, Kovalev executed it to a T. I remember one time, I think it was like in the middle of the fight, he told Kovalev to jab upstairs, and when you throw the right hand, throw it from an angle. Don't throw it standing straight on the line. And he was doing that. He would shoot it right down on the body, and just little subtle things like that. Like Kovalev is actually, believe it or not, it's crazy to say this, and you guys might not agree with me, but he's actually Sergey Kovalev at age 36, because he's listening to the Buddy McGirt, and he's really taking to what he's doing in the gym, and Buddy McGirt really has his ear. Sergey Kovalev is actually improving as a fighter at 36 years old. Who would have thought we could be saying this about Kovalev? But just exceptional stuff from Sergey Kovalev and just Buddy McGirt. I feel like their partnership and relationship is like one of those things in boxing where you find the right trainer at a different stage of your career. Truthfully, Buddy McGirt probably would have benefited Kovalev 5 years ago. I think he would have improved Kovalev even 4 or 5 years ago. But hey, everything happens in reason in life, and everything is timing. So, you know, that's 2 fights for Kovalev, 2 spectacular performances, 2 of his best performances of his career. And I think Buddy McGirt has to get some serious consideration for Trainer of the Year. I think Kovalev, whether you like it or not, I mean, y'all might disagree, but I think even he should be getting some consideration for Fighter of the Year, because that fight against Alvarez was one of the rematch of Alvarez earlier this year. That was one of the most spectacular displays of boxing we've seen all year. And then today, he fights a young, undefeated, hungry prospect. And I know he was favored to win for the most part, but to knock him out with a jab, I mean, how many fighters, I want you guys to ask me a question. How many fighters this year at the top level of boxing, at the world championship level of boxing, how many fighters have you guys seen that are knocking guys out with jabs? I mean, that's just so rare. That's such a rare thing we see in fighters. So I think he should get some serious consideration for Fighter of the Year. And I think Buddy McGirt should hands down be the Trainer of the Year. No doubt about it. That's just my opinion. That's my humble opinion. But let's get to some comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I just want to get my take on this fight. All right, my man, Hashman Boxing. What's up, champ? How you doing? It was a nasty jab KO. Al the Pal. What's up, champ? How you doing? Why was Top Rank promoting this? Because Top Rank probably put up the money. If I'm not mistaken, I think, but when they're making this fight, I went to purse, but I think Top Rank just put up the money. It was a fun fight to watch, very entertaining. By the way, who do you favor in BOWE versus Alexander Gvozdyk in their fight? I got Gvozdyk. I think Gvozdyk's boxing skill and his punching power, his range, things like that, those are gonna definitely be a difference in that fight. BOWE is good, but I think BOWE's only route to a victory is to get Gvozdyk to sit there and fight with him. And I don't think he'll be able to do that for a long period of time. But hey, if he can, and he lands that left hook or that left hook, he could get him out of there. But I'm gonna go with Gvozdyk in a very tough but well-earned unanimous decision. I think Yarde thought he let Kovalev punch himself out, hit him on the body. He put his foot on the gas earlier, could have got the stoppage. Kovalev had a hell of a second wind after yeah, you know, I don't know what exactly they're doing in that gym with him and Buddy McGirt, but like Kovalev's stamina seems to be improved. You know, it's improved, and he's doing things like these real subtle things that are making a big difference for him. You know, he's jabbing from different angles. He's changing levels a lot more. He's not loading up on punches, so he has more energy going into the second half of the fight. He's trusting what Buddy McGirt is telling him, you know, which is to not put a lot of power or leverage behind your shots, because you're heavy-handed, and when you're heavy-handed, you don't gotta punch hard all the time. You can just place your shots, and guys are gonna feel it, and that's what happened on that knockout. You know, Yarde was tired, Yarde was fatigued, Yarde was, you know, just ready to go. And all Kovalev did was place that jab just perfectly. And that's why you saw the effect it had. It was a combination of the whole fight. It was a combination of things that added up during the course of the fight. So just great stuff from Kovalev. I'm really enjoying, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm really enjoying what Buddy McGirt has done for his career as a fighter, because it's so rare in boxing that you see a fighter like Sergey Kovalev, who's been at the top of the light heavyweight division, who's been in big fights, won big fights. It's so rare that you see a guy like that at 35, 36 years old, improving. And that's what's happening with Kovalev. Al the Pal. Careful, bro. Don't get raped out there. It's pretty dark. Haha, at Truth. Nah, man. These are my streets. I walk these streets all the time. They want some smoke. Listen, honestly, anybody who tried to fight me out here, I feel bad for them. I'm waiting for a fight. Long live Donald Trump. Fair loves Gia Mendes. Long live Donald Trump. Hey, that's funny. MAGA, I guess, right? Won't get too political, but MAGA. So now the big talk with Kovalev and his career and what he does next is, you know, Canelo Alvarez. I mean, obviously there's all those big unification fights. You know, he can go fight BOWE, Gvozdyk winner. He can go fight Dimitri Bivol, and those would all be great fights. You know, if he goes that route, I ain't gonna get mad at him, because why should I get mad at him? Those are all great fights. Those are all great champions. Those are all Eastern European fighters. And in the case of Bivol and BOWE, those are his countrymen. So big unification fights between the Russians, I wouldn't mind it. But as far as the money fight, if you're talking about truly making history in one fight, you know, if you're talking about really like truly putting your stamp as one of the best light heavyweights of all time, I don't see why he wouldn't want to fight Canelo Alvarez. It's the biggest money fight out there for him. and pretty much anybody in boxing if you're on that weight. And a lot of people are saying, especially after this fight, that Canelo would stop Kovalev, that he'd break him down at the speed and the head movement and the defense. It would just be too much for Sergey Kovalev, and I don't agree with that. I truly don't agree with that. I actually think, and I'll say it like this: now that fight is very realistic, that it can get made, because we know Canelo's not gonna fight Demetrius BOWE Andrade because he's scared to death of BOWE Andrade. You know, he's frightened. He doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't want to get embarrassed by someone so long, rangy, and slick. So he's not gonna fight BOWE Andrade ever. He's a coward when it comes to fighting Andrade. Let's just establish that on True School Sports. But then you have the Triple G fight, which, you know, it's there, but I mean, do you guys really want to see a third fight? I mean, come on. And then you know, there's the best option, like Canelo, I think would get more respect going up to light heavyweight because he's never fought that high at light heavyweight. You know, sure, Kovalev is not the Kovalev of old, but I think that's a great thing. You know, my perspective on Kovalev is a lot different because a lot of people are saying, well, Kovalev isn't the Kovalev of old, and I think that's the best thing for him. It's good that he's not the Kovalev of old because this Kovalev is more poised. This Kovalev places his punches. This Kovalev is a better, in my opinion, a better fighter. Straight up, he's a better fighter. He's a more educated fighter. He's a more disciplined fighter. He's a more well-rounded fighter. And he's still one of the pound-for-pound hardest punchers in boxing. So I don't think it's such an easy fight like people say. Like a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Anthony Yarde hurt Kovalev and he threw body shots, so that means that, you know, he's gonna do that to Kovalev. No, that's not what it means. That's not what it means at all. Because you gotta understand, it's one thing to go up to 168 and fight Rocky Fielding, you know, like cherry pick one of the weakest fighters at the weight class. You know, a guy who had never been proven at the world level, a guy whose claim to fame was beating Tyron Zuji, whatever his name is, Tyron Zeuger or Zuji, or the guy from Germany. He beat him. He won this random belt by the WBA, and that's who he beat. And everybody's saying, oh, well, he moved to 168 and he beat a champion. But no, Rocky Fielding wasn't no champion. He was a European cannon fodder opposition, and he was a perfect style matchup for Canelo. Now, when we talk Kovalev, we're talking about someone who, in terms of his boxing skills, is one of the best out there. We're talking about someone who can punch with the best of them. We're talking about someone who's improving, and I want that fight. I really want that fight. I'll be real with you, it'll probably be in Las Vegas. So if Kovalev doesn't knock out Canelo, which I don't think he will, to be honest with you, I don't think he will, but it's possible. He'll get robbed on the cards, but at least he can fight Canelo. He can test himself against the cash cow of boxing. And if in the event that he does beat Canelo, I mean, how great would it be to end his career on that note? I mean, he would literally he's gonna get an 8-figure payday fighting Canelo Alvarez. You know, he's gonna get life-changing money fighting Canelo Alvarez. Because let's have it right, man. Kovalev, for as many big fights as he's been in, you know, he's fought the Andre Wards, he's fought the Bernard Hopkins, he's fought, you know, some really big names in boxing. But although those guys are big names in boxing, those opponents were not box office attractions. He's not going to be getting crazy money to fight those guys. Andre Ward couldn't even sell out his living room in Oakland. And Bernard Hopkins, same thing. He wasn't a big attraction either. So that would probably, for the first time in Kovalev's career, be a fight that he can truly say is a mega fight, where he can truly say he's getting, you know, crazy life-changing money. You know, that the money he'll get from the Canelo Alvarez fight would set his family up, and you know, being that he's 36 years old, I know he's thinking about that. He was even talking about it. You know, he said I got into boxing. He was talking, they did an interview with him and Mark Kriegel, and he said, I got into boxing to get something out of it, to change my family's life, you know, and a fight against Canelo Alvarez, the money he'll make from it, it could change his family's life. But from a boxing standpoint, if he beats Canelo, you know, he'd be the only guy besides Floyd Mayweather to beat Canelo. He would have a great win in his resume. You know, it'd be that signature win that I think his career kind of needs, because even though I think, you know, and for those of you who haven't been following me for a long time, I think in both Andre Ward fights, he was grossly mistreated. I believe he was robbed, and I know you're going to say, well, how can you get robbed in the second fight? He got stopped. I thought he was robbed because Andre Ward punched that dude in his balls like 3 or 4 times, and, you know, he got rewarded for it. And I'll say this about Andre Ward, too. I was so disgusted I was so disgusted during this fight at times with Ward when he talked about Kovalev. Disgusted with him because he at every opportunity he could to belittle Kovalev during the fight, he took it. He took it. He took every opportunity to belittle Sergey Kovalev and talk about how he called Sergey Kovalev a front runner. He called him he said he had no stamina. You know, just it was ridiculous. Every opportunity he could to lift himself up and belittle Kovalev, you know, he took it. So come on, man. I was really pissed off with that. That pissed me off during the fight, because those two fights with Ward and Kovalev, I mean, the first one especially, the first one was a modern day classic. It was a great fight. You know, Kovalev showed his boxing skills. He knocked Ward down. I think it was in the second round. You know, he thoroughly outboxed and outpointed Ward. Ward rallied later on in the fight, had a good little run, but he won 4 rounds at max, and he was grossly, like, Sergey Kovalev was robbed. That was supposed to be his signature win. That was supposed to be the win that could have taken him to the top of the pound list, and they robbed him of it. And then the second fight, which I actually went to, I paid money and went to Vegas to watch the second fight. I thought he was probably winning that fight too. I mean, Ward was quicker. Ward was a bit sharper that fight, you know. But I thought Kovalev was probably up in the cause in that fight too. And he got caught one really good shot, and then when he got caught with it, fucking Ward starts going and punching him in his nuts and gets rewarded for it. I never seen anything like that. It was like he was like the black Andrew Golota that night. But that really pissed me off during the fight. So I just feel like with him and Canelo, it's that chance to really put that stamp on your career. You know, he's had a good career. He's gotten some really good wins, had some really important and fun fights, given the boxing fans such a great fighter. He is one of boxing's true warriors. I love Sergey Kovalev, but he needs that signature win. He also wants that generational type money that could set his family up. So why not take a Canelo fight? And if he does it, you know, I've always said Ian before these last 2 fights where he's beaten Elliot Alvarez and Anthony Yarde, and people are kind of like praising Kovalev a bit more. I said even before this, I said it after the Alvarez, the first fight when he got knocked out. I said, look, even though he lost to Alvarez, if he retires right now from boxing, he is one of the best top 10 or top 25 best light heavyweights to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves. I always said that about him. But if he beats Canelo Alvarez, we're talking about top 15 light heavyweights. Maybe we're talking about potential, you know, fringe top 10 light heavyweight of all time, because Canelo Alvarez is a great fighter. And when it's all said and done, Canelo Alvarez is going to go down as an all-time great in boxing. He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time. You know, as he continues to progress, he's becoming one of the best fighters. You know, not like top 10, top 50 type stuff, but he's becoming a great fighter. You know, his name is littered with great names. He has so many fantastic performances, and I think that'll probably continue. You know, because he improves every fight, whether we're talking about his defense, whether we're talking about his counter punching. You know, Canelo Alvarez has become a complete fighter, and to beat a guy like that, it'll take someone special. It'll take someone with, you know, who's a special fighter. And I think Kovalev, and I've always thought this about Kovalev, I think Kovalev is a special fighter. I think he's a great fighter. He's an A-level fighter. He's a exceptional boxer, puncher, with the emphasis on boxer, because I think people get so enamored with his, you know, the Crusher moniker, where he knocks people out, that they forget that his boxing skills are second to none. That jab, I mean, tonight was a great example. I mean, today was a good example. When he fought Yarde, he is one of the most skillful boxers in the world. He's one of the only fighters in boxing where you could look at him and say he could literally win a fight with just his jab. Like, he could literally, with many fighters, he could actually just literally, he could throw his jab the whole fight and beat you. You know, there's not many fighters. I know a lot of fighters get cocky and they say, oh, well, I can just win this fight with my jab. But Kovalev is actually one of the very few fighters who can literally win a fight with just his jab alone. And for that reason, he is one of the most skilled boxers in the world. And that's not going to change. So I would love to see his jab, his boxing skills, and all the things he's been learning with Buddy McGirt in the gym tested against someone of the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, someone who is going to be quicker than anybody's ever fought, someone with exceptional counterpunching ability, someone with exceptional durability. You know, what happens when Kovalev touches Canelo? If he touches Canelo, what happens to him? What happens to him? Because people keep saying, well, he's going to go punch Kovalev to the body and break him down and stop him. And they could be very well be right, because after what I saw today, it's possible. But at the same time, what's gonna happen when Kovalev touches him with one of them damn jabs, which, you know, can, as we saw today, can knock. I mean, and if you've been following his career, many times it's shown he can knock you out with his jab, or buzz you with his jab, or really just give you some problems with that jab. What's gonna happen when Kovalev touches Canelo? Because he will touch him. I'm telling you that right now. He will touch Canelo. If Triple G slow ass touch Canelo, Kovalev is touching Canelo. Kovalev is a better fighter than Triple G. He's more athletic. He's more athletic than Triple G. He's a better fighter than Triple G. He's crafted than Triple G. You know, Canelo. I mean, Canelo is there to be touched. I mean, I know he's gotten better. It is very feasible that he can slip those jabs and slip on the inside and hit Kovalev to the body or the head with a left hook and get him out of there. It's not. He's that damn skillful. But let's not act like slow-footed, slow as molasses Triple G wasn't able to touch him with that same jab, didn't have his success against him, and Kovalev is a better fighter than Triple G. Kovalev is quicker than Triple G. Kovalev is more crafty than Triple G. And more importantly, Kovalev is a fucking light heavyweight. He's a light heavyweight. So what that means is he's punching harder. Pound for pound, he's a harder puncher, because, you know, let's keep it real on Triple G. I like Triple G. I'm a fan of his, but he's someone that has made a career off of dragging guys up from 154, 147, dragging it up to 160 and stopping them, okay? That's what he's made his career off of. Kovalev is knocking out fighters cold. I mean, legitimate fighters at light heavyweight, champions. He's knocking them out, you know? And he's made a career off that. So he's a much better puncher than Triple G. So for that reason, that fight is of big interest to me. We know Canelo doesn't want to fight Demetrius Andrade because he's a coward and he knows he would get schooled by him. So this is probably the next best fight. Truthfully, I mean, I know if he fought Andrade, it could have been for undisputed. I know he got stripped recently, so it wouldn't be for undisputed anymore. But at one point, it would have been for undisputed, so it would have been more important. But now, I would probably prioritize this fight more than Andrade. But let's get some comments, because I see some comments coming in. Let's see what we got. I don't want to see Canelo, and I'm Mexican. I want to see the 147s and 130s back to back. Lots of good fighters in those divisions, and I can't wait for Andy Ruiz. Yeah, I mean, 130, 147s, yeah, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about Kovalev and that around those weights. But as far as Andy Ruiz, yeah, I can't wait to see Andy Ruiz either. I mean, Anthony Joshua's really he's lost the plot, but that's another story for another day. Scared of BOWE, the jab and run guy. Damn, dude, that guy fought the most feared middleweight twice, dude, and now he's going to fight Kovalev, hardest puncher at 175 after Beterbiev. Nah, bro. First of all, he fought, you know, I want to talk about Triple G for a second, because you're calling Triple G the most feared guy at middleweight. And, okay, yeah, we'll make it no secret. The guy has been ducked by many fighters at 160. All right, I've been following boxing for like a minute now, a while, my whole life. But I'm saying I've been on YouTube for a while. That's what I meant to say. I've been on YouTube covering boxing for a while. So when you talk about Triple G being ducked by fighters at middleweight, yeah, okay, he was feared by some, but he never moved up. He never moved up and challenged himself. He didn't fight nobody. He never fought like no truly slick boxers. The most slick fighter at his weight he ever fought was Daniel Jacobs. And Daniel Jacobs, as I've said many times, is extremely overrated. Very overrated fighter. He never fought anybody as slick as Andrade. And Canelo, I mean, he fought Mayweather, so you can't say he hasn't fought anybody slick. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, he's scared to death. Canelo Alvarez is fucking scared to death. He goes to bed at night, and he's absolutely frightened to death of Demetrius Andrade. Because he wouldn't be able to deal with that style. He would not. A guy that long, a guy that rangy, a guy who places his punches, and you call him a jab and run guy. How are you gonna call Demetrius BOWE Andrade a jab and run guy? You know what it's called? It's called boxing. It's called sweet science. And people, when people call Demetrius BOWE Andrade a jab and run guy, you know, that pisses me off, because it's not jabbing and running, it's boxing. You know, he's using the ring, he's counter punching, he sits in the pocket, He uses his left. He uses his right. He uses everything that he has to his disposal, and he wins fights convincingly. He shuts guys out on a routine basis. Guys don't even win around against Andrade. I know you're gonna say, well, he hasn't fought the big names yet, but he's fought some quality fighters, fighters that give some other bigger name fighters problems. He fights them and shuts them out, and he's shutting guys out on a routine basis. So when Canelo sees that, you know, he why go that route when you can go fight someone that's a bit easier, you know? As for your comment about Kovalev being the hardest puncher after Beterbiev, I mean, I think he's a bit of a harder puncher than Beterbiev, but I don't think that's something worth arguing about. You know, both of them are pretty devastating punchers. Hold on. Both pretty devastating punchers. How you doing? Let's see, what else you guys saying? Yarde will come back and we'll have a title. Hopefully they gotta build him up at British level. He hasn't fought anybody over there, so I think they should do that first before they even consider getting him a world title. Get him a British title. Canelo stops that. Oh, my man Fannenbaugh. What's up, Alex? How you doing, champ? He says Canelo stops that boy to the body. Kovalev don't touch him. Facts. Nah, bro. If Triple G, who's extremely slower than Sergey Kovalev, was touching that boy, Kovalev is definitely gonna touch him. And when he touches him, we're gonna see. Canelo better eat some extra. He better eat extra meat. He better. I'm gonna sit down because I'm getting tired of walking. I've been walking for 41 minutes already. Jesus, has it really been 41 minutes? It's been 41 minutes. I've been sitting here yapping my mouth, just walking, patrolling the streets of South Florida. Hold on, I'm gonna go sit my ass right over here at the circle. Hold on. Yeah, but he better load up on some extra clenbuterol. If he's gonna fight Kovalev, he better load up on extra clenbuterol. He better cheat. He better take as many steroids as possible. Because if Kovalev, and he will, oh shit. If Kovalev touches Canelo Alvarez, and by the way, speaking of Kovalev, I'm rocking the Kovalev shirt. Shout out to Fighting Mad. But if Kovalev, or I'm not gonna say if, when Kovalev touches Canelo, you know, when he touches Canelo, Canelo is gonna have to really be durable enough to take that. And you know, I don't see him being able to. I see Kovalev's power, that true light heavyweight elite power, giving him problems. I know. If we're talking about straight skill for skill, he's better than Kovalev. I'll admit that. I'm not a delusional Kovalev fanboy. But when you get a fighter who moves up, you know, and he's moving up 2 weight classes above his number weight class, you know, it's a different story. And you got to calculate these things. And you gotta see them for what they are. So if you're gonna favor Canelo, that's great. But everybody's saying that he would just walk into light heavyweight and just blow out Sergey Kovalev. You're out of your damn mind. You're out of your damn mind. So I hope that fight happens. That's probably the #1 fight in boxing I want to happen now that it's a realistic possibility. You know, these heavyweights aren't going to fight each other because it's all about money. Emilio X says, it's not sweet science. He doesn't land the cross with conviction or bad intentions. Where is his right hook? Tell Canelo to fight him and he'll show it to him. He's had plenty of fights where he's landed his crosses in left hands. You know, he shows different things every fight. So if you go back and you watch his fights against, I mean, his most recent fight against Zaleski, he stopped, he knocked him down in the first round, I believe it was with an overhand left. A bit of a looping overhand left, but an overhand left nonetheless. You know, his money punch is a left hand. But he's so slick, he's so rangy, he's got great boxing skills. He's a tough matchup for anybody at middleweight, and I just feel like Canelo Alvarez. When I say Canelo is afraid of him, I just say it to exaggerate. But he's not rushing to fight him because why fight BOWE Andrade when you can fight old man Golovkin for the 100th time? And this time when he fights him, he's gonna stop him. You know, because Golovkin is old. Anybody can see that. You know, Steve fucking Rolls was taking rounds off Golovkin. Steve Rolls was counterpunching Golovkin. So why wouldn't Canelo Alvarez be able to do it now that he's slowing down? You know, honestly, if he fights, I'll be honest with you, if he fights Golovkin a third time, he's getting no credit from me for that because everybody knows he's gonna beat Golovkin. It's almost a damn near foregone conclusion. You know, that's how much Triple G has deteriorated at that top level. Why do you think they're matching up Triple G with Vons Martirosyan and Steve Rolls and these guys that are so, beatable, overmatched? But Kovalev versus Canelo, that's what I want to see. I think that's a fight that'd be great for boxing. And look, I'll say this: if Canelo Alvarez goes up to light heavyweight and he does what everybody's saying he's gonna do, which is absolutely obliterate Kovalev, which I think is fucking ridiculous, but people are saying it. If he does it, then I might have to actually consider putting him pound for pound number 1 or 2. I don't have him pound for pound number 1 or 2. I think, Usyk, Naoya Inoue, Lomachenko, even Terence Crawford. These are guys that are more worthy of pound for pound than Canelo because of the way they're scaling weight classes, or dominating weight classes, or dominating opposition. And they're not. None of the 4 aforementioned fighters, to our knowledge, is out there taking clenbuterol or cheating. So, is what. You know what? And if he's not gonna fight Kovalev, if he's not gonna fight Demetrius Boo Andrade, let Billy Joe Saunders get a couple fights in. Let Billy Joe get about 2 or 3 fights in, and I'd love to see Canelo step up to Billy Joe Saunders, because I think Billy Joe Saunders would give him some problems too. But back to Emilio, ain't no one stopping Canelo. I forgot, Alex, you're Mexican, so you're gonna be going for all the Mexican fighters. Ain't no one stopping Canelo. Es mi era all day. Nah, Kovalev can beat Canelo. In fact, if that fight gets made, I'll probably put 100 or so on that fight. But back to Emilio's comments, man. How you gonna say that just because he doesn't, in your estimation, land the right cross, right? What you say, right cross, or land the cross with conviction? That's not the sweet science. So what about when he's slipping punches in the pocket and counter punching from all kinds of angles? Is that not the sweet science? When he's throwing that jab at range and landing it at will, is that not the sweet science? I mean, Shannon Navarro says, "I'll take that bet." No, I'm not betting with you, bro. I'm not betting with you, because at least if I bet with Vegas, they're not gonna rub it in. You're rubbing it in, so. I don't know though. It remains to be seen what Canelo's gonna do anyway, because that Triple G fight is still there on the table. There is options for him, so I don't know. But yeah, we got what's the next big fight coming up? We got Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell, which I'm not really that excited for. I don't think Luke Campbell has a prayer, to be honest with you. I watched the fight with Linares. He gave Linares some problems, but I don't know. I just think Lomachenko. Yeah, Alex, I'm on my phone right now. I'm on my phone. Whenever you see me live like this, I'm always on my phone. So I'll talk to you later. But I'll say this about Kovalev. Back to Kovalev Canelo. If that fight gets made, I'll be there. That's a fight I will definitely make my way out to, because I mean, as you can see, massive Sergey Kovalev fan. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. I love watching. I love his style. Just an exceptional fighter. I was there. I mean, I traveled and I watched him fight Andre Ward. I was there for the Ward Kovalev rematch, and that was pretty painful to watch in person. But if they do fight, Alex, I'm pretty sure that fight will 100% be at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. There's no reason that it's not. Canelo has made his home fighting there. Kovalev has had his first fight with Andre Ward there, so it'll definitely be a Las Vegas fight. I don't know what they're talking about, but I don't see why that fight wouldn't be at T-Mobile Arena. It makes too much sense, but you never know. They might take it to Guadalajara. But yeah, the next big fight is Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell. And it's a fight that I'm not really that excited for, because truthfully, I don't want to see Lomachenko fight anybody if it's not Teofimo Lopez. If it's not Teofimo Lopez, Richard Commey, Devin Haney, or someone at a higher weight, or Gervonta Davis, I don't really care who else he fights, to be honest with you. The Luke Campbell fight could be a tough fight for Lomachenko, but because it'll be an interesting fight for Lomachenko, because Luke Campbell is a rangy fighter, and we saw Linares give him problems as another rangier fighter. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope honestly, I'll be honest, I hope his ass loses. I'm getting sick of him. Honestly, I'm sick of Lomachenko, to be honest with you. He's a fantastic talent, but the way everybody talks about him, it's like he's the best fighter who ever lived. And truthfully, I don't even think there's I can name you 6 fighters active right now who I think are, no, not 6. Maybe like 4 to 5 fighters that I think are better than him. And one of them who's inactive, who I think is still better, who's had a better career than him. You got people talking about how he's better than Muhammad Ali and things like that, and I think that's where it gets carried away. I'm not discrediting him, but that Pacquiao, I mean, I know I brought it up a million times, so there's no reason to hash it out again. But the Pacquiao thing really left a sour taste in my mouth, and I'm not ever letting that go, because when we see Pacquiao do what he just did to Thurman at 147, it's easy to see why Lomachenko didn't want no smoke. Pacquiao to move down to 140 and killed him, and I really wanted to see that fight. I think it would have been a great fight, but you know, he has his own plan, so I give him that. Let's see. Yeah, Alex, it'll be at the T-Mobile Arena. No doubt about it. I think the Loma fight is interesting. I think Loma struggles with a bit with the size. Yeah, he might lose a couple rounds early because of the size, but once he gets past that and he starts shifting his weight and going left and right and throwing off the shifts, like, you know, like throwing these big left hands off his back foot when he shifts going right or left, he's gonna touch Luke Campbell with something serious. I don't think he's gonna stop him, but it'll get his attention enough to make him back off and fight his fight. So I got Lomachenko beating Luke Campbell via a UD, and just same story as usual. You know, maintaining that he's the best at 135 right now. You know, I don't think he's truly gonna get tested until he fights Comey, Lopez, or Haney. I think those are the only 3 guys that can test him. So it should be a routine title defense for Lomachenko. But you never know, it's boxing. Crazy things happen, so I'll be watching. Can Kovalev even fight in the States? Where did he fight Alvarez? Well, he's fought in the States the majority of his career. He fought Alvarez in New Jersey, I think it was. I think he fought him in New Jersey. It was New Jersey. He fought him at, what was the casino? There's that one casino in New Jersey. Atlantic City. He fought him in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He is a great defensive fighter, but Canelo ain't scared of that style, though. Canelo is a guerrero. How do you think Canelo would do at super middleweight? Now, see, that's a good question. I wish he would just campaign it. See, I don't mind it, but I don't like when fighters jump up and down in weight, because fighters who do that, like Mikey Garcia or Canelo, they do it when it benefits them. And I know it's their careers, and, you know, to each their own. There's no set way of how to be a great fighter in boxing. But, you know, I would love to see him, if he's going to campaign at middleweight, campaign at middleweight. If he's going to campaign at 168, campaign at 168. At 168, I think it'd be interesting. I think I'll tell you the guy at the top who I think he would beat. I think Canelo Alvarez would beat Caleb Plant because of the fact that Caleb Plant fades in the later rounds, but it'd be a good fight while it lasts. Caleb Plant's stamina problems in that fight would be his ultimate undoing. If Canelo fights Benavidez, that'd probably be the toughest fight for him, because Benavidez is equally as fast as him, has great reflexes as a fighter. So yeah, you know, Benavidez would be a tough fight. I would lean towards Canelo, but very slightly. I think Canelo could be a really good champion at 168. It's just a matter of getting up there and settling in and, you know, taking these guys on, you know, because Canelo Alvarez, he's pound for pound, he's one of the best fighters out there. It's just a matter of him not being a fucking diva. You know, I'm sorry. I mean, he's a great fighter, but I hate divas. I don't care if it's Canelo or Ward or Mike Garcia. I don't like divas in boxing. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, Anthony Joshua beginning to piss me off too. I like Joshua. I mean, I've been a big fan of his for years. I'm still a fan of his, but he's pissing me off too. So nobody's immune to being hated on for being a diva. Not even Anthony Joshua. And I love Anthony Joshua. This man, Lomachenko, be holding his breath underwater for 5 minutes. This man losing brain cells. You damn right. I'm gonna start calling him that just because it's fun. Lomachenko. Don Flamingo says, "Damn, Brennan, are you turning heel, hating on Loma?" I mean, I watch his fights. Like, if you go back and you watch, I love watching him fight. The Pacquiao shit, like the Pacquiao thing, left a big sour taste in my mouth. And the fact that, you know, people use different standards for him that they don't use for other fighters, it pisses me off. I don't want to get into it, because if I start getting into it, I'm going to get really pissed off and I'm going to go on a rant. So we're going to avoid that. He's rubbing me the wrong way. That's all it is. I'm not saying he's a bum or a bad fighter, because he's not. I just want to see him fight. I really wanted to see him fight Pacquiao. It didn't happen. So yes, I do. I hold that against him. I'll hold it against him for the rest of his career. You know, the same way people want to hold Riddick Bowe not fighting Lennox Lewis against him for the rest of his career, I'm going to hold that against Lomachenko for the rest of his career. So it's no different. But But yeah, when he fought Corolla, I mean, all you gotta do. I love watching him fight. He's an exciting fighter. I mean, if you go back and watch my live fight reaction, go watch how I was reacting during the Corolla fight. I was going insane. He's a fun fighter to watch. He's just, I just don't like the double standards. Double standards with any fighters piss me off, and it's no different with him. I felt bad for Corolla. Like, he was fed to the lion. Yeah, I mean, I knew Lomachenko was gonna beat him up, but damn, god dang, I didn't know he was gonna beat him up like that. That was horrible. Devin Haney card, Amanda Serrano vs. Heather Hardy, title fight, Spence vs. Spence, real deal fight. Yeah, I mean, look, Devin Haney, Amanda Serrano, or Amanda Serrano, Heather Hardy, that's one of the only good fights that could even be made in women's boxing. So I'm glad they made that. They're fighting in New York City, which for them is double better because both of them are like great fight. Like, both of them are New York City fighters. You know, one is I believe Hardy is Irish. She might be Irish, but don't quote me on that. And I know Serrano is Puerto Rican, so it'll be a good fight. They'll sell some tickets. Both of those guys, both those women, I should say, not guys. Both of them are known. Oh, the Marlins lost again. So 82 loss for the Marlins now. Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, like, they'll sell tickets, so it's good for them. Get their money. Yeah, AJ, man, it sucks, man. I've had eat a lot of crow about AJ recently because I don't know what's going on with him. I think Ruiz really concussed his ass. I think he's still concussed and his brain is not intact, because how can you go into an interview and say with a straight face that Andy Ruiz beat you because it was a lucky punch from the gods? You know, that's... it's almost like he's trolling us. Like, because I can't even say that as a joke. I mean, he whooped AJ's ass. He destroyed him. He folded him up, you know, like a steel chair. He ironed him out like a wrinkled pair of jeans. You know, it was a ass whooping of the highest order, an ass whooping of the highest order, straight up. So, you know, he's becoming a diva. Well, he's been a diva. He's always been a bit of a diva. I've always known that. But he's like he can't even be honest with himself about the freaking fight with Ruiz, and that to me is a very alarming side. That is a very alarming sign for Anthony Joshua. And even before he said all this, I had my doubts about him beating Ruiz, but now I definitely don't think he's beating Ruiz. He's too delusional. He's too delusional. But I hope he can. I hope he beats Ruiz in the second fight. I hope he regroups, but I just don't see it happening. And I think if I said this in a video I made recently, I think if he beats, or if Ruiz beats him again in the same fashion or something close to it, Joshua will retire from boxing. No doubt about it. He will retire from boxing because he's made too much money. He can retire and have a fortune. You know, if you listen to the way he's talking in his interviews, he's talking like a guy that's semi-retired. So, you know, it is what it is there. Boxing promotion is weak. For the most part, yeah, it is weak. You know, if you're not someone who follows this every day or bi-weekly, you're not gonna know what's going on most of the time. Don Flamenco asked, never asked this of you before, but do you watch MMA? No, I don't watch MMA. I mean, I know recently I interviewed my first MMA fighter, a local fighter, and I also interviewed another MMA fighter named Hector Lombard or something like that. So I mean, I'll interview them, but I don't watch MMA. It's nothing against them. You know, it's combat sports. They're putting their lives on the line, so I respect them for that. But it's just not my cup of tea. The grappling, the wrestling, I'm not really a big fan of it. I think I like boxing. Boxing's more aesthetically pleasing to me. I think it's the better sport as well. But respect to them for getting in the cage. But no, not really. No, I'll be honest with you. What was the last MMA fight that I actually watched? The last legitimate MMA fight I watched from start to finish. I'm trying to think. Had to have been about 3-4 years ago. I watched an MMA fight. Like I watched Demetrius Johnson versus some guy. That's what I didn't voluntarily watch it. I had to be at my friend's house, and he told me, this guy's the pound #1 fighter in UFC. So I watched him, and I was bored to death. I was bored to death because I'm not really into the submissions and the grappling. I know some people like it. It's not my thing. Anthony Yarde versus Joshua Buatsi next. No, they don't want to do that. If they do that, Joshua Buatsi he'll destroy Anthony Yarde. He don't want that smoke. He does not want that smoke. He can't beat Joshua Buatsi. That's a worse matchup for him than Kovalev. I'll tell you this too. I don't know if you guys ever heard me talk about Joshua Buatsi, but Joshua Buatsi he's someone that I think right now, I think he's about 15 fights into his career, something like that. There's champions he could beat right now. He's good enough to beat some of these champions. He could beat Beterbiev. He would definitely beat Beterbiev, and he could compete with all the other ones. So they don't want to do that soon. But what I will say is this: I think they should step him up like slowly. If I was like Anthony Yarde's manager, I would give him like 2 lower level British light heavyweights, and then like 2 or 3 fights, get his confidence up, get him some sparring, start doing things that other fighters do, like spar in the gym, which would help him out greatly. And then once you do that, and you get his stamina up, and you feel confident, then you step up to Joshua Buatsi. Because then by that time, Joshua Buatsi might be a world champion by then. He's that damn good because he's ranked top 10 across all sanctioning bodies. So he could be challenging for a world title very, very soon. And I think he's the best fighter Eddie Hearn has in terms of skills. Better than Joshua. He's better than whoever else he has. They're better than Josh Kelly. That's the guy he needs to start putting his money behind. Was Paulie Malignaggi's fist fight dumb? Yeah, it was. I mean, I was live for it. He fought Artem Lobov, and it was cool. But I mean, what was weird about it to me was like, it was bare knuckle fighting, so I wasn't really sure how to score it because it's not boxing. I can't use boxing criteria to score a bare knuckle fight. So I was just confused the whole time watching it. And he wasn't really like he wasn't overcommitting to any of his punches. I think he broke his hand in the first round, so then he wouldn't throw his right anymore. I wasn't really a big fan of it. So many hicks. That's fucked up. So many hicks. Well, they fought in Tampa. Tampa Bay's very country area. But yeah, man, shout out to Paulie Malignaggi. You know what's funny, guys? I'm gonna tell you a story. Paulie Malignaggi came to the Heavyweight Factory on a Monday, and normally back then, well, now I still go to the Heavyweight Factory on Mondays, but in general, when I do go to the Heavyweight Factory, I normally go on Mondays, Tuesdays, those are the days I like to go, beginning of the week. I was supposed to go on this one Monday, and I wound up not going for some reason, and I was gonna go in there and train one day, and he was there. I could have sparred Paulie Malignaggi, so I missed that. I would have loved to spar Paulie Malignaggi. That would have been great. I missed it by like this much, and he never came back. He came to Heavyweight Factory one day. Which I never seen it from him before, because normally when he comes to Miami, he comes to 5th Street Gym. He goes down to like further south of Miami. Heavyweight Factory is more north towards me in Hollywood, Dania area. So he came to the Heavyweight Factory, and he was there, and I saw a picture of him on Instagram, and I was asking one of the guys at the gym, I said, yo, when's he coming back? I want to get some rounds with him, and he never came back. So I kind of sucked. I almost sparred Paulie Malignaggi this year, and maybe one day that could happen. True School Sports gets KO'd by the Magic Man in sparring. Nah, he don't want that smoke. Paulie Malignaggi don't want that smoke. That's an ES News headline. Yeah, he would do that. And then I'll have to go. I mean, I'm cool with Ellie, so I'm not gonna talk bad about him. But if he did do that, I'd have to go and beat the hell out of Ellie, and then he wouldn't want that. He wouldn't want that smoke. AJ probably meant that the punch he got caught with and never recovered from that, and got clipped while careless while looking for a finish. Hopefully Dark AJ's coming back like before when he was champ. I mean, hopefully, man. I mean, I don't know. I can't really try to decipher what he meant. All I know is he said he won. First of all, before he said that he wasn't that skillful. So you're already talking negatively about Andy Ruiz, which is not true, because he's a very skilled fighter. Even before he fought Joshua, he was regarded as a very skilled fighter. But then, at least from people who know boxing. But then, for him to say he won because it was a lucky punch by the gods, I mean, you couldn't say anything dumber than that. So, I'm just over it all, man. Like, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. If Joshua beats Ruiz, great. If Ruiz beats Joshua, great. Doesn't really matter. Tyson Fury's gonna slap them all up. So we're all just wasting our time. And I've been saying the same thing for a while now. And I can't wait for his massive fight. He's got that. Tyson Fury's got that massive mega fight with Otto Wallen. That's the fight we all clamored for here on True School Sports. The undefeated, dangerous southpaw knockout artist. Can't even say that with a straight face. But yeah, he's fighting Otto Wallen, so heavyweight division, you know, it's cool, but really, as of right now, I'm not really too excited about it. More excited about light heavyweight right now. More excited about even 140. I'm more excited about welterweight. Obviously, I'm always excited about because there's always something going on at welterweight. But heavyweights, man, 2020. In 2020, heavyweights, get your shit together, please, for the love of God. I've never heard the man speak with real belief in himself. It doesn't really matter. He took the risk in his career to get to where he's at, so he did believe in himself. So that doesn't really matter. But, you know, I will say that even before Joshua lost, there's people here in South Florida that from the London area. Like, I know people from there's people that train like in Miami that I know from the London area who knew Joshua when he was younger, and I've heard stories about Joshua, about what he was like when he was younger, and how he's a bully and how he's a front runner. So I've been seeing that slowly come to the surface. And I don't know, man. I like all that stuff I said about him fighting Wilder. I don't even believe it anymore. Like, straight up. I mean, he has a puncher's chance, but that's it though. Like, cause he's too damn deluded. You can't be that deluded as a fighter, and think you're gonna beat someone like Deontay Wilder. Hopefully, for his sake, he can beat Ruiz and learn some new things in the gym and get his swagger back. But I have my doubts about it. But we'll see. Baltimore versus Philly. Gervonta Davis, veteran farmer, even though he's not from Baltimore. Jarrett Hurd versus Julian Williams. Malik Hawkins versus Jaron Ennis. Is that a card? Is that happening? Or are those fights you want to see happen? Malik Hawkins. I haven't seen Malik Hawkins fight in like 2 years. Has he gotten any better? Because the last time I remember seeing Malik Hawkins fight was like late 2016, early 2017, and I never really like rated Malik Hawkins highly. He was just a long, rangy fighter, had good speed, but I wasn't really impressed by him when I saw him as a prospect. Has he gotten any better? I've had a chance to watch him fight. I mean, if he's anything close to what he was when I last saw him, he will get murdered by Jaron Ennis, no doubt about it. I could care less about the heavyweights right now. There's no fighting. They start fighting, I'll start paying attention. A lot of talking and no action for that division. You damn right. That's why I like the guys in the small weight classes more, because us small guys, we're about that action. We want that smoke, straight up. Yarde's trainer is a deluded clown. You talking about Tunde Ajayi? Yeah, man. You know, Andre Ward made a great point. I think it was like in the 5th or 6th round when it was one round during the fight where, you know, Yarde was getting his ass whooped. And in the corner, Tunde Ajayi was quiet as a church mouse. You know, he wasn't really giving Anthony Yarde any clear-cut instructions. And I feel like many parts of this fight, he let Anthony Yarde down, and he left him out to dry. And you know, it's a testament that sometimes the loudest in the room is always the weakest. You know, he doesn't spar at Anthony Yarde. He doesn't get in any sparring. They do all that bullshit choreographed Mayweather pad work that, you know, for Mayweather, it has a purpose. They do it with a purpose. Roger and Floyd Sr. and, you know, Floyd Jr., you know. They do that with a purpose. But you got Tunde Ajayi, who's on record saying that he patterned his whole training style after the Mayweathers. And, you know, as you can see today, he fought a fighter in Kovalev who had a lot more tools in the toolbox. But, you know, they didn't have the tools to deal with the tool that Kovalev brings to the table. And that's down to the trainer. You know, that's down to two things. The trainer and piss poor matchmaking, and his trainer is his manager as well. So it's on both ends. It's Tunde Ajayi. It's down to Tunde Ajayi. It's down to him as a manager, and it's down to him as a trainer. So he let Anthony down, not just on one occasion, not in one way, but in 2 ways. You gotta apologize to Wilder, Brendan. He's hurt, and he's gonna take it out on Ortiz next. Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm not gonna apologize. Listen, I've already done the most I'm gonna do for Wilder. I made a video saying that, look, if he's kind of been vindicated by ducking Anthony Joshua because of the way that Eddie Hearn was trying to treat Ruiz. I mean, obviously, I think Ruiz got a better deal for himself, so it worked out. But I digress. He still ducked Anthony Joshua, and Yeah, I agree with you. He's definitely gonna take it out on Ortiz. He's gonna put Ortiz in a casket. He's stopping Ortiz within 4 rounds. Ortiz has no chance. I've actually seen Ortiz in person twice in the last 3 months, and he looks like he's in decent shape, but he's getting ironed out. My dad has seen him with me because my dad's been with me the 2 times I've seen Ortiz, and he thinks Ortiz has a chance, and we'll do a video on that soon. AJ, Fury, and Wilder got no heart. They just use height as an advantage, and it's weird that they're all 6'5". I'll be honest with you, man. I think once Hrgovic and Daniel Dubois, I mean, I know Hrgovic's probably fighting right now. He's fighting tonight, and I'm not even watching this fight. But I think once Hrgovic and Daniel Dubois get up to the top elites of the heavyweight division, I think one of those guys is capable of beating like Joshua or Wilder, maybe even a Fury, because Fury's, you know, much I like Fury, and I think nobody's gonna beat him. If you do land on him, he will go. He will go to the canvas. You know, it's just a matter of can you finish him. Both Wilder and Steve Cunningham proved that you can knock down Fury, but neither one of them was able to finish. So we'll see. He's all right. He fights just like Jarrett Hurd, and I assume you're talking about Malik Hawkins. Well, if he fights like Jarrett Hurd, Jaron Ennis is gonna destroy him if they fought. No contest. You can't fight coming forward in a high guard and just trying to fight like the black Antonio Margarito and think you're gonna beat Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis will destroy he'll destroy Malik Hawkins if that's how he's fighting these days. Yeah, Wilder definitely ducked that offer for sure, and I will never apologize to him for that. Witness protection, straight up. But you know, you can't get mad at him for the route he's taking because he's ultimately wound up doing right by himself. Even though he lost out on the $120 million payday. AJ, if he loses his next fight, is going to be extinct from boxing. And then all he got to do is beat Fury, and he's the king of the heavyweight division. So I know it's a big if, but if he can do it, he's the king. Got to give it to him. If he can beat Fury, you got to give it to him. Even though he already lost to Fury. But if he beats him, he's going to be looked at as the king of the division. And we'll have to give him his props. Yes, Alex, Phantom Brawler, he ducked $120 million from the zone. We're not gonna, just because Joshua lost and he's acting like a little sissy right now, we're not gonna overlook that. Call a spade on both ends. But Alex, me and you have gone through this already. We made a whole video about it. There's no need to hash it out again. There's no need to hash it out again. You already know what I think about that. Dubois will be a real problem. His punching power and foot style is legit. Yeah, man, it's funny because, man, I hate talking like this about AJ because I like AJ, but you know, you could make the argument. I know Dubois hasn't really stepped up, so right now we're looking at Dubois through rose-colored glasses. But you can make the argument that he's probably well, no, this is no argument. At the stage he's at in his career right now, he's 10 times more polished than when Joshua was at that stage of his career. And even probably Fury, because he won the British title faster than any British heavyweight of all time. I think he's the youngest. He's the youngest or the second youngest British heavyweight champion ever. How many fights were included? It was 3 fights. It was the first fight was the Brazil mandatory defense. The second fight was a fight with Joshua, and then the second fight was a rematch with Joshua. So 3 fights. Two with Joshua, 1 with Brazil. The one with Brazil was going to be 20 or was it 40 million or 30 million? I think it was like 30 million or 20 million, something like that. And the 2 Joshua fights are both 40 million apiece. PBC fights are starting now. Yeah, I know. But as you can see, I'm not anywhere near my TV, so I'll probably miss out on those fights. Did Dubois start boxing late too? I think he did. He might have. I don't know when he started boxing, but what I do know is that dude is a beast, and I'm hoping at some point we get a chance to see him and Filip Hrgovic fight. That'd be a great fight. Me and my dad had this bet going on, and I talk about it every time. See what I'm 35%, so I'm gonna start making my way back home because by the time I get home, my phone will probably be dead. But yeah, I'll love to see them fight. Heartbreaker? Kind of fruity, bruh. What are you talking about? Phantom Brawler? What are you talking about? Heartbreaker. I don't know what you're talking. I actually have no idea what you're talking about. But I don't know. Do we have anybody from New York City? Is anybody from New York City on the live right now? If there's anybody from New York City on the live. Oh, Figueroa's name. Yeah, that's pretty gay. I'm not gonna lie. The Heartbreaker. But hey, treat these women accordingly, I guess, right? Be the heartbreaker, because women love a great heartbreaker. Just joking though. I'm not joking, but I'm joking at the same time. Let's see. Alex, no homo, but God's seen to bless you in the gene pool, so I'm sure you know a couple of things about being a heartbreaker. You know a thing or two or three about being a heartbreaker over there on college. You know, I'm sure the girls are just busting down your door on Tuesday, so should be fun. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go out there and do any boxing stuff. Might go stop by a couple of gyms and see what's up, because I know a couple of people at a couple of gyms. I might even go try to stop by the Matchroom boxing office. That's if I do anything boxing related while I'm out there, because I'm gonna be out there for about a week. So while I'm in New York, I might just go out there and hit up the Matchroom USA office and see if we can finally get a hold of Eddie Hearn. But that's easier said than done. But we'll see. I'm going to New York on Tuesday for my boy. He's gonna be on Sway in the morning, spitting bars. So big shout out to my boy Paul, Rights 23, my best friend in the world. It's gonna be a big moment on Shade 45. So I'll probably go live from Sway in the Universe. We might interview Sway. Well, that'd be pretty crazy. We could interview Sway here on True School Sports. That'd be a pretty good interview, because I know Sway's a boxing fan. He said, "LOL, bro, you cracking me up." Yeah, man. Yeah, Alex. I'm sure all the Hispanic girls probably think you're a white guy. So I'm sure. Oh my God, he's white. He's a dreamy white guy. And they're coming over, man. They're coming over to your crib, and they're having the best time of their life, man. You know, you're just collecting bodies, bang, 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 like Deontay Wilder. I'm wilding now. I gotta tone it down, because you never know who's watching these. As I found out in the past, you never know who's watching these. You know, I'll be sometimes How you doing? Sometimes you get on these lives. Sometimes I get on these lives and I just start wilding out, because I'm cool with you guys. I feel like I can talk. We're like family here. We're like family here, so we can talk. I can be free with you guys here. But like, it's funny. I remember one time I was talking about. I'm not gonna talk too much about this, because it's not really worth talking about it too much. But there was one live where I was on here, and I was at a park, and I was talking about my ex-girlfriend, because the park I was at when I was doing the live was a park we used to go to. And I remember I was saying all this stuff, and like a month and a half went by, and her boyfriend got in the comments and he started threatening me. He's like this Navy guy. He's, you know, got tattoos and stuff, and I guess he thinks he's tough, but you know, it's funny. So I guess we gotta watch what we talk about, because we never know if our ex-girlfriends, boyfriends are stalking us. But you know, listen, I didn't. He threatened me in the comments. I didn't threaten him back. I said God bless you, but if he wants some smoke, he can get some smoke, straight up. He might even watch this. So hey, I'll say his name here. Hey Josh, if you watch this, man, you can get some smoke. You can get some smoke. You know, when you come down from the Navy, I'm not gonna fight you for her. I'm just gonna fight you on general principle. LOL, you got an ex-boyfriend. No. Nah, man. It's her ex-boyfriend. She started dating some guy from the Navy, and then I never interacted with this guy in my life. I don't know him. I don't care to know him. But homeboy was in my comments. Like, dude was in my comments talking about, you're not gonna see her again, and you're never gonna box again, and I'll make sure you never box again, and I'll beat you up, and yada yada yada. Do I make myself fucking clear? Like, I was laughing my ass off. Like I didn't even feel the need to threaten him. I don't make threats. That's not in my nature to make threats. But I have a switch. Don't make me flip the switch. His last name is Bridegroom, Joshua Bridegroom, Josh Bridegroom, in the Navy, blue eyes, white boy. That's his name. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk too much about that because we're staying positive here on True School Sports. I'm just saying, I was using that to make a point to say that I gotta be careful what I say on these lives sometimes, because sometimes we never know who's watching. So because we never know who's watching, you know, that doesn't mean I gotta put a filter on myself. I'll still be BT, I'll still be Brendan, but we can't talk about certain things for too long. So, just saying. No big fight. Oh, my man Emilio X, I missed his comment. He said, does Don King still have the promotion building in Florida? I've never been to his building, so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I do know he has a mansion in West Palm Beach. I've never been to it, but I know he has it. So if that's what you're referring to, where the fighters come and visit him, yes. No big fights the remainder of the year, only Spence and Porter. No, Joshua's fighting Reeves on December 7th, so you can't say that. Says Josh, come looking for smoke. Josh about to go to sleep early. Yeah. And Al Powell, I said his last name, so I'm really about it, man. I don't proclaim to be the biggest, because if you meet me, I'm not the biggest. I'm not that tall. But I sure ain't. I don't proclaim to be the toughest guy. But listen, you fight me, I feel bad. It's like there was this one kid I sparred recently. I'm not gonna say his name, but I've sparred a couple of people in the last couple of months. And there was this one kid I sparred recently, and we got in the ring and we sparred. And it was like in the early stages when I started sparring again, and I was like tired. Like I was not my best. My punches were loopy. They weren't as sharp as I like them to be. And so 2 rounds went by. I think he probably won the first 2 rounds. And the third round, I landed a couple punches. I landed a couple counters. I started feeling good. I said, damn, he's lucky we only sparred 3 rounds, man. Because if I would have got a 4th, I would have folded him up. But I asked him to spar again. And every time I talk to him, he never wants to spar again. So yeah, I might have lost that sparring session. But he don't want to get in there again because he knows. So that happens. But yeah, you guys drop your comments down below. I'm walking home now, so what's my phone battery on? My phone battery's on 25%, so I figure I got anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes left. So whatever you want to say the next 10 to 20 minutes, you better say it, because my phone will die, and I'm gonna go home. Hey, Alex, are the PBC fights on FS1 or are they like on local television? Hit Josh with that Andre Ward low blow. Nah, man. Oh, actually, I might. Anything goes, right? Anything goes. So why not? Why not? But yeah. Well, like, so yeah. Anything you guys gotta say the next 10 to 20 minutes, you just get it in. You get it in. Go bang, bang, bang in the comments like Deontay Wilder and Alex, Phantom Brawler. Oh, wow. Also, I'm pretty sure he's not watching this, but maybe he is. I was out and about around town, and I went to Cold Stone Creamy to get some ice cream. You know, they got this like blue cotton candy ice cream. I like Cold Stone Creamy, so I go to Cold Stone Creamy. You know, and if any of you guys have been to Cold Stone to get ice cream, they don't just have like their sizes. It's not just small, medium, and large. No. You have like it, which is small, love it, which is medium, and gotta have it, which is large. Okay, so I got me the love it, which is a medium, and I get me the blue cotton candy ice cream with rainbow sprinkles. That's my thing. So I got that over there. And while I was there, I ran into my boy. Shouts out to him, Dominique Francis, up-and-coming boxing prospect. He's like 3-0 with like 2 knockouts, I think. Training at Boca Raton Power. I ran into him while I was there. He came into Cold Stone Creamy with his girlfriend. And I didn't even recognize him, but shout out to Dominique Francis. It's on FS1 PBC. Okay, shout out to you, man. I'm gonna go back and probably watch it. 78 Sports. What's up, champ? How you doing? Salute to you, man. I've never seen you in a live before, and this one was kind of like improvised, so I didn't expect a lot of people to be on this one, but I know you watch my channel because I saw your video with, who was it? Black Fight Fan? Yeah, and you guys talking about how I hate Wilder, or the individual. You said the individual on the out, because you guys are talking about the video I did with Phantom Brawler, and you were like, the individual who made that video hates Wilder, which I don't, but to each his own. It's not? Then why does it say 78 Sports TV? This ain't 78. It says 78 Sports TV. That's the fake 78? Well, who the hell would make a fake 78 Sports TV account? Damn. You know, see, like, usually when you pretend to be somebody, you know, normally you pretend to be someone like a celebrity, or like, you know, a boxer. Even I've even seen like pretend like Eddie Hearn accounts, but you out here pretending to be 78 Sports? See, I knew it wasn't. I had a funny feeling it wasn't 78 Sports, because why would 78 Sports come to True School Sports, a channel that he's on record said he doesn't like, and then say salute? It would have a check mark next to his name. Oh, okay. Well, he's verified like that? He's got like that? 78's got like that here on YouTube? He's got that YouTube fetty, that YouTube fame? He really tried sounding like him too. Yo, the internet is a funny place, man. I mean, you can be anybody on the internet, straight up. You can literally be anybody you want to be on the internet. So, hey, to each his own, right? Next thing you're gonna see, I swear, if somebody ever makes a parody account and they start being True School Sports or Brendan Taylor, then I'll know I've made it. So I guess in a way, you got to give 78 Sports credit, because he's made it. Got people out here impersonating him. He makes videos? Does he make videos, Phantom Brawler, that got 78 Sports guy? That's the fake 78. But yeah. I'm gonna watch these bum fights. Who's fighting right now? I can't wait to go home and watch the bum fights. Peace, Phantom Brawler. Shout out to everybody, go subscribe to my man Phantom Brawler. Great guy. You know? Thank you, Al Heyman. Shout out to, I know he probably left before I said that, but thank you, Al Heyman. Oh, I wanted to ask, there's 9 people in here right now. So for the 9 of you that are in here, how many times today have you guys thanked Al Heyman? Have you guys thanked Al Heyman for all the clothing on your back and the food in your plates? If you haven't thanked Al Heyman, then you're doing it wrong. You gotta thank Al Heyman every day for the air in your lungs. I'm just joking. But that's how fighters be like. They be thanking Al Heyman before they thank God. I saw a meme one time where it was like, Al Heyman was like, oh, did they really just thank God before me? Let's see. But yeah, man, shout out to Kovalev. Great performance from him today. I'm really excited to see what happens with his career, how everything kind of unfolds. Neil Wood Nez says, Yarde will KO Kovalev in the 4th. Well, I have this crazy suspicion, Neil Wood Nez, but Kovalev's not going to get KO'd in the 4th, that he's going to KO Yarde in the 11th round. Want to make a bet? Do you want to make a bet, Neil Wood Nez, that he's going to get that Kovalev is going to KO Yarde in the 11th round? You can cash out me $50. Cash out me $100. We'll bet on it. Are you being serious? All right, my Cash App is my Cash App and my PayPal is in my about section on my channel. My PayPal is trueschoolsports2012@gmail.com. I bet you Kovalev will stop Anthony Yarde in the later rounds. Straight up. I think I have this crazy suspicion that he's gonna stop him in the 11th round. I don't know why. I just feel like Yarde, like with his muscle mass, he's gonna fatigue, and that Kovalev jab is just gonna get too heavy for him, man. So I don't know. What you think? I know Kovalev's a little bit. I know Kovalev's look kind of old his last couple of fights, and Yarde is like, he's a young, hungry lion. But I think Kovalev's gonna get Yarde out of there sometime around the 11th round. You told me Pac-Man would not knock down Thurman, and he did. I did? Okay, well, I stand happily corrected if I did. I don't remember doing that, but okay. Well, no, I said Pacquiao wouldn't. I don't remember saying he would have knocked down Thurman, but if I did, maybe you're right, because I say a lot of things. I said he would have knocked out Keith Thurman, and he didn't knock out Keith Thurman. He went to the full 12 rounds. So actually, what I said happened. What I said in that fight wound up coming true. Pacquiao would outwork Keith Thurman to a decision, and he did. So I was actually right. But if I said he wasn't gonna knock him down, then okay, maybe I was wrong on that one. But I truly don't remember saying that. But I say a lot of things, and if I said it to you, you probably remember better than I would. So. But I don't want to be a dickhead. You know the Kovalev-Yarde fight already happened, right? You know that, right, Neil Woodness? The Kovalev-Anthony Yarde fight already happened. Happened like 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. You know that, right? So if I bet with you right now, I would actually be a dickhead, and I would be taking your money. So I don't want to do all that, because then you hate me forever. So we're not gonna have that. I'd be scamming someone. You know Kovalev won too, right? And you know he won in devastating fashion. You know that, right? I hope you're just trolling me. Oh, damn. Well, I just ruined it for you. Damn it. I just ruined it for you. That sucks. Yeah, the fight happened already because they were in Russia. I mean, I don't want to tell you what happened, but I kind of already told you what would happen. But I'll let you watch it. I'll let you watch the fight. It was a good fight, though. Anthony Yarde. He had his moments. He just was too inexperienced. But you know, if he handles it the right way, he can be back and do some great things at light heavyweight. Tunde Ajayi, though, I'm telling you, Tunde Ajayi as a trainer really let his ass down this fight. Let him down in a major way. Well, on that note, guys, it's been a blast talking to you. I've been live for almost an hour and a half. You know, shout out to Kovalev and Yarde for putting on a great fight. Shout out to everybody who funneled in here and gave their thoughts and chopped it up with me, because I do enjoy these lives. You know, I never thought I never knew how much I enjoy like doing these live videos until I stopped doing them for a while. So I'm trying not to make a habit of that. But just thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for all the support here on True School Sports. Thank you for, you know, it's been a very down month, to be honest with you, because I really haven't been putting out that much. But you know, I just appreciate everything. I appreciate like everything I've gotten here on YouTube and everything boxing has given me as a fan and someone who just participates in the sport on a very minor level. And yeah, so with that being said, I'm gonna just let you guys go. God bless, take care. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just Kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.